Recording is on.
Welcome. We're at the Bitcoin Core App Design Jam session number 5, where the design crew gets together and just hangs out in Figma and tries to figure things out. Welcome all on this call and anyone who's watching this. I guess the best place we should start today is with this new current design task link here in the Bitcoin design repo, where we should start tracking. This is not a perfect list, but we should start tracking what we're working on here. And this is a special time because we get to be together and chat, which is good for resolving things together, while other work can just as well be done asynchronously, where we don't need to, or it's maybe even better when everybody has singular focus and whatnot. So let me know what you want to talk about. Top of my list would probably be the states, form state stuff. What do you think? What do you want to talk about?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, definitely we're close to, I think, some consensus, so we can try to stay.
Okay, so Jakob, you also had some comments on here today that I was just going through. There was stuff around blue for errors. There were some color discussions around selected and error states. Then there was the discussion around these hover and active states with these new colors. And Jakob, I wanted to ask you something. You just wrote in a comment that you changed your colors back away from your original proposal.
Yeah, I mean, in the original component, no, I changed only the disabled. In the original component that you used here, I just changed the disabled to be less contrasty.
But you also changed the outlines of the outline states, right?
Yeah, but I did it in a separate.
Okay.
Just to experiment. So I will try to correspond after your feedback in the YouTube video to have it correspond more with the input states, but it's kind of not possible with free buttons because there's no outline and we cannot really have very light text there and then on hover very dark text in that case and then hover lighter, because that wouldn't work, I guess. So it's like I don't know how to solve it here.
So I actually I don't think we have to force a consistency here. I think we can use the colors differently. It just has to feel right,
Yeah, but if we go for this, like hover is always some shade of orange, and then press or active is also shade of orange, then it works. But the question is, do we really want that? We really want everything hover to be kind of orange. And in that case, it works with outlines and free buttons, right?
I don't think it necessarily needs to be. I think we can make like it. I think it's something, this thing. There's like making and breaking the grid thing. It's good to have consistency, but then you adjust things. Like you break your rules when you need to for it to be right. So I like your proposal here too. But what do the others think of this?
I was just I was curious about there's alternative button states up here, and then I see that's with purple around it, and then the one that we were looking at has almost like this blue around it. Is that like is that just variations of the same design?
Yeah, these are just two kind of proposals.
What do you guys think about the purple and the blue? Which ones do you like better?
So for me, definitely the blue one feels more kind of more right. Yeah. I played actually with the same kind of concept, but I don't have edit access here, so I just played around in my own file, and I think especially the it doesn't really matter if it's blue or purple. It doesn't really work for the filled state. If you have the orange button and it's a focus outline, and it doesn't really. It's kind of. I think we have to find another pattern there, or kind of another styling. And I posted something in the channel that we could do maybe to have an outline of the same color, because it's still gonna be visible enough, hopefully. But yeah.
Some more this thing here. This was one of my original ones where it's just it uses the same orange.
Yeah. At the place where I worked last, we had actually kind of amber or yellow as the primary color in dark mode, and we did kind of an opacity or kind of a similar treatment like you had here, where you use the same actually hue but in a different lower opacity. And if it's really adjacent to the button, if it really covers it, then it's going to be hard to see no matter what it is. And if kind of the one solution to this would be to actually offset it. But the problem you have only if the shape is filled. You don't have it here in the outline. In the outlined version, you don't really have that problem that much. But yeah.
I don't know, because like in the outline, if because it can be focused, but an active component can also be focused, right? So I don't know if the problem won't still. I would need to see the two versions, but yeah, I came to the same conclusion that we need to have a spacing between these two buttons. So I actually did the same, but with just still the blue color. But I kind of, my thinking is it's better to use blue. I mean, it's better to use some very differentiating color, because people that don't use mouse and just use focus states, I think when the very different color moves on the screen, it's just much quicker for them to perceive it. If it that'll be orange or the same color as main color, I think be slightly less, kind of slightly more effort on their perceiving of perceiving that movement, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm actually cool. I think somebody else said that yesterday. Initially, my reaction to the purple was like, but then I started liking it. So.
I also had to grow towards the purple as well. I really had to grow towards it. I was almost like, why is this purple here? So I've dragged in the design from Michael here as well, that he posted in the chat.
In which workspace?
Just where we are. Let me see. It is in Jakob's workspace, and just this one over here, focus state idea. This one that I'm moving around.
So one thing about, I think in CSS, browsers don't give you a lot of control over this outline, like the offset and whatnot. I know for a long time that was an issue. So you're actually limited what you could do with this outline. It might still be an issue today. I don't know if QML has some type of the same restrictions or so. But yeah, I don't know. It's not a huge deal. It's easy to change later if you want to. So I think it'd be cool if we just, I don't know, vote on it or make a decision or so so we have for the focus outline, we have the color decision, then we have do we offset it or not decision. Should we just decide something now, or do we need more explorations here?
I think we maybe just form a consensus on the color and then on the offset as well. I mean, as you say, we can always change it later.
I think, but that's probably just my personal taste. I think the blue plays better with the orange.
Okay. I'm more in, I do like the purple as well. It's let me go and have a look as well. Let me see the purple. Where's the purple as well?
Yeah, I like blue more. I think slightly more, but it's not a really strong preference. But because of maybe we should think like, will we use blue in some different, interactions, some different. I guess we would probably more often use blue than purple. Then perhaps purple is better in that way.
Yeah, blue is. It's generally, I think, it's good for informational stuff, like little info icons and stuff like that. But yeah,
Yes.
I don't know.
So I changed to purple.
And there's sorry, go ahead, Christoph.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, Mo, you were looking at something. Did you sort out what you were trying to look up?
I was trying to compare the purple around the empty state and then the blue around the empty state. And I was trying to feel it from almost a bit of a psychological perspective as well, because color has psychology. And I don't know, the purple feels a bit more playful and the blue feels a bit more serious. So that's just an observation.
Well, are you serious or playful then? How do you feel?
Yeah, I don't know.
Are you seriously playful?
Could be. I like both. I feel a slight tendency towards the purple one, if I could be honest, though. But slight tendency.
Yeah,
Hey, there you go. That's
there are arguments in favor of purple. Like purple is the the least, is the rarest color in nature. So it kind of, I guess that's my conclusion.
Going big here.
It kind of stands out more than blue, and that's another argument. What I use it as a focus when focus is used as just navigation on the app. So I convinced myself purple is better, even though 5 minutes ago
Okay. Hey, welcome, Satyam. We're going over some very detailed design decisions here right now, where we did a few different explorations on all these different form states. And we're just trying to make some decisions now that we can move forward with. It seems like the thing we just talked about right now is when an element is focused, like a button or input field. So what color we use, and it seems like purple is starting to convince people here. I mean, I said a bunch of times that I would like purple, so that seems to be the thing. And do you have any thoughts? Do you like?
Give me
you don't
the
have to, if you'd like. Sorry. Okay. And then the offset question. I can actually go either way. Personally, I think it's not super pretty when it's so right, like this when they touch. But I don't think it's a huge deal either way.
No, yeah. No. I also think so. Maybe we would just have to increase the width of the outline more when it's around the filled button, because I have a hard time seeing it, the outline. So it just had to be probably a bit thicker.
Yeah, I think Safari uses 3 pixels or so of thickness, if I remember correctly. But yeah, it's just these colors, they really blend here. Okay, cool. So what does everyone say?
I'm in favor of the larger offset. I think that it's more. I think that the selected state is clearer with the offset.
Okay, and that's only for filled buttons, or is it also for outline? For outline also.
For the filled buttons, I actually didn't look at that with the outline only.
Okay, but it seems like we have 3 votes for offset here, so that's pretty much it.
And just more readable.
Hey? You're muted now.
I was just saying it just feels more natural. And the size of the offset is, I'm not sure if it should be 3 pixels. I mean, the size of the bubble, like I don't have any.
Okay. I mean, the only thing with the outline to consider is for buttons that are in the corner. If you have the outline outside, then if the button touches the screens and you have an outline, then the outline goes outside of the screen, which is weird. I don't know really technically how you'd handle that, other than making the buttons never touch the edges, or you just don't care if it goes outside. Not sure.
Well, it's visible. I mean, I guess the don't care is a good strategy here, because it's still visible. I mean, it goes a bit out. But...
Yeah.
Well, if it's that would maybe be one of the arguments for having when it's outlined or a ghost button that doesn't have anything, to have it basically not offset in these elements, but only offset in the elements that are filled.
Okay, so offset only for filled, inset for, let's call them text buttons. So we have filled, outline, and text buttons.
So, but in outline, it covers the border, or it just touches the border?
I mean, outline could be the same as filled.
Or the same as text. I mean,
if it's really, we have these other situations here too, where you have these type of elements where they're also inset. They're offset on the left and right because you don't want them to touch the text, but then top and bottom, how much do you care about them touching the divider lines?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, another common pattern with these is to not have an outline, but just to have a background color.
Yeah.
But even the background color, if the text touches the edges, then it wouldn't look that. It's not perfect.
Yeah, and it would, yeah.
I mean, the other thing is too, we maybe that's the point we're getting to, where we have to look at each element individually, and then we maybe just have two treatments, and we just decide, okay, here we use this, here we use that, and that's it.
Yeah, apply it and see where it breaks.
Yeah.
If it breaks.
Okay, what do you want to do with this one? Just try to, so I mean, for filled, we want the extra offset, right?
So then, what's the closest? So we agree, so the outline should be treated as filled, right? And then text one just be the same size as normal button, or much, or should it be much,
Yeah, I mean, if those commonly touch the edges of elements, like in the nav bars, then insetting it is would be appropriate. It doesn't have to be inset that much. It could just, I can't see the outline anymore. Just add an outline. I guess I can just apply a stroke inside 3. Yeah, you just inset it. No, I guess that's not the. Yeah, that probably works.
I think you should take a.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, how does that sound good?
Yeah, I like it.
Okay. Okay. Offset positions, filled with offset, filled outline, 3 buttons with outline is inset. Cool. All right, what do we move on next, or what else is there to discuss here? Hover states.
Hover states.
So for text, Jakob, you introduced two colors, orange light 1 and orange light 2. So this is text, you hover it, and then turns this color, and then you're active, you press it, it turns this color. I think I named them differently up here.
Oh, I think this one I copied. Or
Yeah.
just change the focus.
So these colors here. And then if we consider our theming approach, then those we use the same color names, but we can change them to different values in light mode, and it automatically applies throughout the whole thing. So I mean, how does everyone feel about these states here?
The hover and the active.
Yep. Yesterday in the call, we said that we probably should try this out, but maybe after this call,
I need to
one of us can do them.
see how that is practically.
But I mean, about the logics, that generally sound reasonable.
What was the logic? Sorry, I was not.
Well, just having these two different colors here.
Yeah, that's fine. The one has a bit of a more like yellow tint to it, and then the other one is more orange.
Yeah, you can compare them here.
Yeah, I wonder if active should be the same as pressed. You know, like, because I think the active color you applied here in this component, you took it from just pressed button, right?
Yep, I grabbed these two colors from your designs, and then I applied them here as well.
Yeah, because in one way, like I feel like just standard orange could be active, like an active state of input. So like if there's an active here, I feel like just standard orange use would be okay.
Like this one. Yeah, I mean it's very.
But then
hold on, this one is not, or so this one would have to be. Okay. So hover, I actually didn't label those colors here correctly. So this is the regular orange, and this one is currently the orange light 2.
Yeah.
So what did you change it to now? Just now?
Sorry. Yeah, it's back. Yeah, I think it's hard to make it correspond with buttons. I mean, I don't know if I can come up with it right now. Because the default orange is just default usually. In hover, in buttons, it's a different color.
Yep. But I mean, if this logic's fine, then we can just go for it.
So we just keep to those current colors that we have.
Yeah. So there's a difference with the starting point. Like the starting point here is white. The starting point with the button background color is orange. So you need to treat it slightly differently here.
How about when we change over to the light 1?
Hover light 1, active light 2. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just slightly.
Okay.
I don't know.
Then we have list items, hover, orange, light 1, active Orange. Yeah, and okay. So this is the same logic that applies here. This is orange light 1, this is orange light 2. And is it the same here? FFD, yep, it's the same as here. And it's the same as here. So yeah, that would be consistent across these options here. And would it be consistent here also? Yeah, I mean, that would just be consistent across all of this stuff.
We could also go like I was trying to find an answer whether different states should be darker or lighter, right? Just for like quick research, I found that it doesn't matter that much, but one discussion was that in darker themes a bit better to do states lighter, just let's say so hover lighter and the rest a bit more light, and light themes the other way. But I guess we can also try to make it the other way and see if make that look better.
So you want to explore a little bit more?
I mean, we can try to do it quickly, but yeah, I mean, I can try to explore it more, but I'm also going to do it right now. So I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think what would be cool if after this call we can basically pick one of each of these and just say this is kind of where we are right now.
Yeah.
And then we keep some of the other stuff around for reference, but maybe we all agree that here's what we want to do. And where we are right now at the latest state.
The design system as well, I guess.
Yeah.
An alternative to the hover state, because hover and active are pretty similar. I mean, what you could also do is have the hover outline be white, so that it pops from the empty state. It will still be visible enough, and then you can use the orange for the active state.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I put that in that Slack channel as well, so it's pretty close to what Jakob has here.
Like this, right?
Yeah.
That's more. Yeah, that's nice.
And then buttons. Let's see how it looks with outline buttons.
Yeah. How about we just create a separate area for the stuff that we decided on from
Good
this
idea.
conversation.
Mo, could you take the second screenshot that I posted in the channel as well?
We go and grab it.
Yeah.
Yes, I see it. I'll go grab that and just bring it in. Yep.
The only problem here is the free buttons, or we can use like on a hover we add some kind of outline. Does that work? Like.
This is very light here. This is a neutral 4. That's very light. It almost disappears. Yeah, I mean, there's an alternative version to free buttons, which I'll just mock up real quick.
You can have the hover state be background, right? In these cases.
I do quite like that with Michael's design with the error state. I know we're not quite there yet. He's got the outline in red as well.
No, I think the red is just that he has it selected.
Oh, okay.
No.
Because the entire outline is in red in his.
In the error state, yeah.
In the error state, yeah.
Oh, error. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, that's the last one, just right at the bottom.
I'm following Christoph, so it's.
Yeah, I'm also following where Christoph is, but he moves very fast.
There's a thing here. I've seen this in some buttons too, where you hover it and then you just get a light background color that appears.
Okay.
Yeah, it actually works pretty nicely as well. You could also do that treatment actually with outline buttons. But I mean, I think
it's one option, right? We just have a couple options. We have like 3 options, and we just need to pick either, the outline just goes white, or it goes orange, or the whole thing goes orange, or we add this background color here, which maybe, it's just different effects.
Should we maybe just vote on it like we did with the other one? I don't know if that's.
I like what Jakob's doing there.
I think
same.
Yeah, it's because the nice thing about white hover is that it really differentiates between hover and pressed or hover and active.
Yeah.
So because the 2 oranges were kind of similar, and it was hard to make them different and not make them like brown or yellow. So maybe I think I'm convinced this is a nice system.
Actually, also for the free button, what is nice is you can have focus and hover at the same time, right? So you would even see the hover state pretty nicely on the freeform button because the background changes.
Oh, actually here, so Jakob turned you added the background in the pressed state, or also? Oh yeah, it's just barely visible. This is.
Oh yeah, this was very quick. Feel free to improve it.
Okay, that's too light. This is our neutral 2. This would be our neutral 3. This would be this would be neutral 2. I mean, if we just stick with our neutral colors, that's kind of the lightest version that you would get.
Yeah, I like it. The question is, outline, should we build them as well in the states? I don't know.
I'm sorry?
The question is, do we use the background only, the fill only in free, or in outline as well?
I would just use them for outline or for free.
Yeah.
Yeah, fine. I mean, what you could also do with the pressed states of the free and the filled is that the pressed state is the same as the default state. I mean, the important thing is that you notice the difference, right? Because if we have the feeling that it gets, let's say, too light on these things, so I'm fine with going exactly with like it's here. It's one thing that I also tried out sometime, that actually in these instances the pressed and default can actually be the same.
That's interesting. That might work, and we don't have to introduce new color, another one color.
Interesting, yeah. What type of screens are you looking at right now? Are you looking at like Apple Retina screens, or some Dell monitors with non-Retina, or what are you looking at?
I have an LG something, like 6 years old. It's not 4K, definitely not 4K.
Yeah, because I have the Jitsi here on a high-res or Retina screen, nice one, and then I have this also really old Dell monitor, and there's always, and it's non-Retina. On non-Retina screens, the grays are not as strong, and all things blur a little bit more. So these disabled states here they're not really recognizable here. But then they might work on a really nice Retina screen, right? But what do you see for the outline of this button here, the outline buttons, and for the disabled states? Can you tell them? they too light, too dark?
So the outline on the outline buttons, it's visible but thin. And the labels, yeah, I mean, the label in the disabled state is I think is not strong enough. So we'd have to probably go lighter.
Just one notch up in our colors.
Yeah, that's much better.
It's the same on my screen as well.
You know, if you command select, you don't have to click through all of this stuff. You can just drag a.
Yeah, I know.
And then you can press enter to select everything that's inside. So you change it in one place.
Another good one is the select layers plugin. We can just say, well, select all text layers in my selection.
Yeah, this is a great
stuff like that. Yeah. Okay. So the outlines are. This button is in this here is pretty good. I think the outlines are not for the focus state are not in the right spot yet, but it seems like otherwise we're pretty good here.
I would probably also the labels for the filled disabled state. I would probably go a bit darker for the labels.
These.
Yeah.
And the icons.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thanks for joining. Hope it was interesting.
Yeah. Thank you.
Feel free to leave any comments on this file too if you agree or disagree.
Can I have the access of the file?
I can share you the link. That is a view-only link, but it will give you.
I need to step out for 2 minutes. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So.
But now it's darker. The label is darker than the fill. So it's kind of inverse.
Yeah, I don't know. I would have. Now let me grab some of these and play with them somewhere else.
Yeah, I was trying to find a solution where that's probably too much, but like where label in field and label in outline and free is the same color, and then maybe the outline and the fill is the same. But perhaps we don't need to have it that consistent.
Yeah, nobody will know in the end. It just has to look right. People will respond to this without knowing which neutral color is being used.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, I would do something like this here with text still being lighter than the background. Doesn't blur. I feel like this here blurs a lot. And it might need slightly different colors for the outline and free ones because they're just on black background, so the visual effect is different. Okay, but that's pretty good, and so we're happy with the. And it'd be cool if the disabled states kind of match here. What color did you use here? Neutral 4 and neutral 4 for the text and neutral 3 for the outline. And this is neutral 4 and neutral 4. Okay, so this would have to go, this outline would have to go up 1. Oh no, this is, oh yeah. Yeah, that really almost disappears. No, I guess it's fine. Okay, cool. So we're happy with this stuff here. this would also have to be neutral. 4. Okay, it is. So that's good.
So you prefer the filled one styling component or the one on the left side?
I mean, I personally would prefer this one here. Well, Mo, what do you think?
No, I'm just I was going to ask with regards to the decisions that we've made so far, is for the hover state, is that going to be the white outline?
Yeah, as it is here. As you
white
see it
outline.
here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easier than writing down exactly in text. We can just piece it together here.
And then the press state is with the orange outline. Okay. And then this is now for the disabled state. And which one are we looking at? Is that the one where Michael has just commented, I like this better? Yeah, I definitely like this better as well. This one, let me just comment as well.
So, like, I read this, like, I don't know how standard it is, but that, disabled buttons shouldn't be, too much readable. Like, it's actually good for them not to have like a good contrast, because you kind of want users to, maybe not skip it, but, kind of don't focus on them, and kind of, it's good for them to kind of blend. That's why I always prefer the low contrast.
But you still want them to be able to know what they're missing out on. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. And, people are often looking at their phones or, computer screens quite late at night. And when that contrast is not there, you really have to strain. I do get Jacob's point, though, that you want it to fade away. But I do like to know what's on the... it's so different, the gray of the disabled state, than the focused and the pressed state. So I think it should be fine.
Okay, I mean, I'm fine with the discussion as well. I have one more question, but I don't remember.
Okay, so we have our list items here, and if everyone's happy with those, then we have our inputs. We're going for red for the air. I guess question here is if we add an info icon or something like that. And then we're good with the buttons. What other elements do we need? Yeah, I guess these options here, these two styles, we should be able to just copy then, right? What they should translate very well. There's nothing new here.
What do you think about the in Michael's design? He's got a red unfilled state around the error message. That's just here at the bottom. Just here.
Oh yeah, there's the icon too. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got the icon, and then he's also got the unfilled empty state it's red.
And the disabled state has the background color here too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just I just tried that out, but yeah.
I think it's also a good option. I think that works as well. Yeah, Jakob, Mo, what do you think? What's your preference? What's your rationale?
I like Michael's design for the error state. I like that the red outline matches the red text as well, because everything's just coordinated. It's just it's aligned.
Yeah, the rationale was actually one for the icon is that if we only work with color, then it has accessibility issues. And you actually would, and that was a good comment from you, Christoph. Maybe we might need kind of two, let's say, severities for errors, right? One that's blocking, that should be probably red, and one which is just a warning. Say, hey, you can continue, but stuff wouldn't work. So that's something that we might need to think about. But Yeah, the rationale was actually to call out the field as well where the error is, because I'm not sure if we do validation upon, let's say, on blur or something.
Yeah.
Sometimes you submit something and then some field is kind of wrong and you want to spot it quickly.
Yeah, there's just sharing a link here, an extra conversation. In some addresses, you can know which character of the address is wrong and whether to highlight that or not.
That's interesting.
Up to 4, I think. Beyond that, it might just be a
Nice.
different address or something. But there's discussion whether this should happen or not. That's a little more detailed. Yeah, I don't know. I personally, I feel like, come on, don't make such a big deal. You don't need to yell at me in all red and whatnot. Like, nothing broke. It's fine. Yeah, I'm just gonna, enter something, and it's all good.
What if the outline stayed in white, but then the text became red? Is that also an option, or is that not?
I mean, we can do whatever we want, right? It's more about what
Yeah.
rationale do we want to bring in here. And
Yeah.
red is definitely something that's super established. But I've also seen other things where there's not even any color. It's just regular, normal color. I think with mobile, we've gotten a lot more playful. People accept a lot more stuff. Like when Instagram did their big redesign, they basically took out all color. It's all just black and white, and it still works. People still know what to tap and what to do. So yeah, I think you can.
But I agree that
argue either way.
the red outline is, it's so aggressive, right? It's not so. And you would, because of the icon, you would spot the message quickly as well. So I don't feel really strongly about that.
Yeah, I personally like when Michael drew the outline out red as well. I mean, I get the Christoph's argument, but for me,
Yeah,
the quickness of realizing this relates to that, it's just much more useful, and I don't feel really threatened by the reds.
I'm going to add a little bit of more oil to the fire here, because I googled error states with regards to accessibility.
Of course.
With regards to accessibility, then you're really focusing on the message underneath, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, the reason with one of the things with having 2 different types of colors or treatments or so is that, let's say if red is only used very sparsely, you take it more serious. And so it's like, okay, here's something red. This must be like a serious thing. I usually don't see this, right? This is something I really need to look at. If it's used all over the place, which it's not like we are using it all over the place. It's not a big deal, right? It just gives you a little bit of flexibility there. So I don't know. What do you want to do? Should we do a voting thing and just deal with it? Whatever we come up with. All right. What do we have? Do we want to have? What are our decisions here?
So I guess there are 3, like Michael's, my version with one headline, and Christoph's version with blue color, or we don't vote on that.
Is this what our 2 decisions?
Red outline, red or blue. Okay.
Christoph, in your idea about, because like we will have some, I guess, really serious kind of like, having a Bitcoin wallet is sometimes serious stuff, right? There's a lot of money involved, so sometimes we want to show like a serious error, I guess.
Yeah, it's like this could really impact your privacy, or if you do this wrong, you could really lose your coins. Or something.
Yeah, so then you want to use blue, and the red one only for like really serious stuff, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's more of a UX decision, right? We have a separation between styling and usage of where do we use which style or which pattern. So
So I would vote on yeah. I do like the red outline, even though it's a lot of red. I would vote red outline.
Yeah, I would just say that I voted for the outline and red arrow text, but I would say with like something which is less serious, we can use. I don't know. I just wouldn't call it error. So we could use then blue in that case and just I don't know. I guess that's technically error, but that would be much information that you need also. I don't know.
Validation tip.
Yeah, this is just also
Okay.
semantic problem in a way.
It's a nice framing there.
And then I would go for the red text as well.
Red. Okay.
for me too, if it's an error, if it's something that's blocking, I think it should be red.
Okay, and would you also go for the outline?
Probably yes, because it came from me, but I don't feel that strongly. But it just makes it easy to connect, to see, to connect. So I would say yes.
Okay, cool. Then we have our decision here. So this is it here. Let's port it over to. We need to copy over that icon.
Is the icon in the?
No, it's one that I used from another file project that I had.
We
don't have a construction site, but we have an construction site. But we have an info icon here that we can use.
Do we have an exclamation mark?
We have an alert thing here. We do. But we don't have a big. We have a slightly bigger size. Okay, let's just throw this in here.
Yeah, that's perfect. It's really interesting. I have Jitsi next to Figma, and I'm watching you, and the colors are very different.
Yeah, I have the same now. Like on Jitsi, it's much darker. For me, it's like more aggressive.
Yeah.
On my.
Yeah, and it blurs with the background, with the black background on Jitsi, right? It's much better in Figma. I also like it that it's on these dark backgrounds. It's better to have less saturation on the colors, so that they kind of don't blur with the background.
Christoph, you haven't voted on this last error state one.
Well, I don't need to. It's already 3.
Is already
positions.
3 okay?
Yeah. Okay. Okay, cool. We're basically at an hour now. We can continue if you want to.
I would just close. Maybe I need to go, but maybe we can just discuss should the disabled state input should have fill. That's interesting proposition because it indicates there's no you can't edit it. So maybe I sort of like it. But what do you think?
Yeah, I think it works too. It's a little bit more. It separates. It's more distinct from the placeholder when you have placeholder text in there. Like this resting, or this one here at the top.
Yeah, the only concern that could be is that if there are many disabled things, then they might look like the actual form.
Yeah.
Or you could it could be perceived kind of in exactly the wrong manner. So that's one concern that I had. But
yeah, I mean, here's another thing. We basically have these 3 different type of input fields. The classic one with outline, and then these 2 can also double as they're basically from mobile patterns switched over. So we should also just check that those work as well. And applying a background color here is a bit weird.
Yeah, that's true. Although I must say, if you follow me, Christoph, I just place it empty and single state together and paste the same text, and it's kind of similar. I mean, I feel it's too close to each other in a way.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm cool with the background color to make that more unique, distinct. And yeah, with these, we can just find different treatments here. The label.
Probably yes, because that's not actually the top 2. You don't actually enter something into it right now. You get somewhere else.
No, you can type stuff in here.
Okay.
And you could right now in the current UI, we can also type stuff in here.
But that means if you in the Tor proxy settings, when you hit the arrow, what happens?
Yeah, so just ignore that.
Oh, okay, one. Sorry.
Yeah, that needs to be a little bit clarified. It is this. There's some detail work to do there to make sure that this works across desktop and mobile. You know, I have this Android phone too, and it's so weird because everything's just gray, and you can tap everything. Yeah. Or even, I don't know how many of you mess with the Coinbase app ever, but they sent me a notification, so I just clicked around the interface, and like nothing has any indications that you can tap it, but you can tap stuff. You know. Yeah. So they're not very interfaces don't have to be that obvious all the time, right? There are, especially on Android, I'm kind of surprised with how little indication there is sometimes whether elements are interactive or not.
Okay, so are we good with feeling?
You've had enough about different states.
Good session, I think.
It was a good session. It was a really good session.
It was a good session, but there's also an hour is kind of enough of this stuff.
Yeah.
But I think this is good. This is a good foundation. We can just apply it to everything, and then we'll be good to go. And then probably some minor conversations still to be had. But probably good. Or how do you feel about it?
Yeah.
I liked it.
Good.
Nice.
Well done, guys, for all of your different design work that you've put into this, Jacob and Michael.
Thanks.
Awesome. Go team. And then, I don't know, 1 or 2 of us can then, go and create clickable versions of this just to try it out, or just try to merge it into the main design system without breaking all of our other designs. Or do you want to do that together next week? I mean, I think it's something that one of us can try to take this conversation, take our decisions here, and then try to port it into the design system. I'm happy to do it. If someone else wants to do it, as well.
I think I can also try, but my time availability is very varied, so I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll also be traveling tomorrow till I'll be back Tuesday, I think. I'll be in Riga for the conference. So it'll probably be next week then. I'll get to it. But I don't think there's a rush either. Cool.
Do you guys mind if I get edit access to that file, or is that too soon? Because I'm happy to just maybe share, because the stuff that I do, I would in that case I could just share that file with you. So maybe then Christoph can just port it over to the other one.
I'm cool with it. What do the others think? You just have to promise to be careful. And actually, something else we should do. I realized that in my own thing too. Like sometimes when I experiment with things, I create new components. Like for the where was that? thing. For the proxy screen, like I created this component here, and I realized, well, I'm totally turning the general component system into a mess, because now you don't have just design system components. You have like my screwing around components in here too. So I think all of this will work as long as after we're done with the session like today, and we have decided on something, that we move things out of this file. And it could be, maybe we could create one archive file that everybody uses, or we each have our own archive files, but something like that. So we don't. Yeah. So what do you others think about giving Michael access?
Sure.
Yeah.
Because 9 years of experience, I think he deserves it.
Well, Figma is only like 5.
Yeah. Yeah, I also need to get in the habit of making weekly duplicates of this one.
I
So
was
it's just
just
any